Alright Blues, it's Stephen here in BlueMoonRisingTV, and we have made another signing. Gabriel Jesus, the Brazilian wonderkid. The 19-year-old Palmeiras forward is now a Manchester City player, and it's so exciting. After Leroy Sané yesterday, we've got another wonderkid through the door, and we seem to be sweeping them all up at the moment. Marlos Moreno is allegedly on his way. We signed Zinchenko, we've got Patrick Roberts doing bits for Celtic out on loan, and now we've got Gabriel Jesus and Leroy Sané. We've got the board out again, the whiteboard, no fancy graphics still, but we've got a few points to talk about, and it's all very interesting. But we're going to start with the fee. Now, it's rumoured to be around £27 million, which isn't really that much given how mad the game has gone. 17 million up front to Palmeiras, and some of it's gone to like a third-party ownership kind of thing. Given the fact that obviously Neymar did leave Santos initially for like 50 plus million, which is a lot of money, and obviously Neymar's a little bit more developed. 27 million doesn't seem that bad, around 27 to 28 million. Also, the fact that Barca were interested, Real were interested, even United are apparently interested, but he's chosen Manchester City. I have not seen a signing like this for City for years from that area. We don't tend to sign from South America. We just simply don't do it, but it's obviously seen a change in policy recently. But the fee itself, given the going rate for players, given how highly rated he is, given he's Brazil's brightest hope at the moment, arguably, then it seems pretty fair. Any player from that region you would expect to pay a lot of money for. And on to the second point, his style of play. This is the bit we're excited by. Now, Ronaldo himself, the original Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, the phenomenon, he said that he reminds him of him a little bit. Can there be any higher praise than that? But his style of play is explosive. It's full of street football, skill, flair, that kind of dynamism you've come to suspect from players from that region. He loves to beat people. He's got a good pace, great feet. But the thing I like most about him from what I've seen is he seems to be very intelligent. He doesn't seem to over-elaborate. None of that stopping to beat his player 3 or 4 times. He seems to beat his man, then go for goal. He seems to be very tuned into what a team needs, and does seem to be a team player too. All the coaches have said he's got a very good work ethic. He seems to take responsibility on his shoulders, and that he's growing with every passing game, and it seems to be that he is leading the team and becoming something of a figurehead. There obviously are some weaknesses still. He isn't the biggest person in the world. I know it's the whole cliche about the Premier League being quite strong, and obviously smaller players tend to struggle with the hustle and bustle, but he isn't small either. He seems to be a good size. Apparently he's growing quite a bit at the moment, and there's also some doubts maybe over his emotional kind of ability. Apparently gets a bit caught up in a game if it's not going too well. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. It means that he cares. It means that obviously he finds the game that important to him. And I'd rather a player who cares than one who doesn't. But that will obviously all come with age. He is still only 19 years old and he's young, so that's not a problem. What you want is a player full of ability and who works hard, and he definitely has that. On to the third point and his position. Well, he seems to be able to play anywhere across the front line, really. A bit like Leroy Sané that way in terms of being an attacker that can just cover a wide range of positions. He spent most of his career as a winger, and that's where he's kind of played a little bit for Brazil as well for their youth teams. But he can play as a forward too, and recently he started to develop into a forward for Palmeiras and started to lead the line through the middle. So we could see him play initially maybe out wider and eventually then through the middle. But why City? Well, that's the thing I'm most excited by. Apparently he's joined City because of Pep Guardiola. He's joined because Pep Guardiola got on the phone to him and convince him that his future lied at Manchester City. I love that. I find that really exciting. Once again, we've seen another player have his head turned by working with one of the best coaches in world football, and Guardiola he's convincing that his game could go up a level, that he could become the player that we all know he could be in a blue shirt. Not Real Madrid, not Barcelona, historically where these players go, but Manchester City. This is big in my opinion. It is very big. But these players don't immediately come to England first. They don't, but he is convinced. He's gone against that kind of general kind of theory of players not going to England straight away from that region, and I love that. Onto the loan to Palmeiras. Yes, he will be loaned back to Palmeiras initially. He'll be at City around December, January time. He's midway through the season over there in Brazil at the moment, so it makes sense. Obviously, their prize asset. He wants to maybe do well over there, have a final kind of farewell, impress over a little bit because he's mid-season. I understand his willingness to stay at his club and still just kind of see the job through. It makes a lot of sense as far as I'm concerned. He's also obviously going to the Olympics soon with Brazil, when he's going to lead the line in their under-23s team. But I'm fine. Come back around January time, have a little bit of a rest. We'll be settled then. Guardiola will be settled. The squad will be, and it'll make sense for him to have an impact then. On to the 6th point. Who will he replace? That's a difficult question. I think initially he'll come in and he'll kind of ease them into the squad. But obviously the likes of Navas, Nasri, these people are going to be looking over their shoulders. He is predominantly a forward. Boney will probably be thinking, my time's probably up. But even like Sterling and so on, Nolito, these players might be worried about their future, seeing as they've got such an exceptional young player and coming from behind them trying to take over their position. But that's the future we're in at the moment. That is football. And so be it. And on to his stats, the most impressive of the lot. He's played 17 games this season so far, and has scored 14 goals and set up another 4. That is a hell of a record, and apparently he scored 54 goals in 48 youth games as a Palmeiras when he was on the under-17s. He has an exceptional pedigree. He seems to be scoring regularly. He's a good finisher. He seems to be pretty strong. He scores goals, and he seems to be a complete player. I am really excited about this Blues. I can't wait to see him in a blue shirt eventually. He's a proper Brazilian wonder kid, the kind that we all live to see. What do you make of the signing? What do you make of Sane or the rest of them? Drop a like on the video, get in the comments below, and I'll see you soon.